Good evening, baseball fans. It is Monday, August 5th. It's not a good evening. It's a horrible evening because it's just a really bad evening. It's so bad. We're going to get into it, though. We're going to talk about it on Bourbon and Baseball, Astros edition. I'm Suzy. That is Tom. We're going to give you the rated R warning right off the jump. Right off the jump, because all of the four-letter words are going to be said in this episode, all of them, and even maybe some that aren't even invented yet. I'm going to just make them up because it wasn't good. That game wasn't good. The last series wasn't good. The Astros are just not good right now. So the language is going to reflect all of that. So if there are children around that you do not want to hear the new inventive cuss words, you should probably put some earmuffs on them and or listen to this at a different time or don't. I'm not judging you. If you do, I'm just letting you know that's what's happening. Just don't come for me if the 4-year-old now says fuck damn it all in one word that's now the new phrase. So with that said, I am drinking a Jack Daniels watermelon punch because the Astros have punched me in the if I had nuts. If I had nuts, that's what they would punch me in. I don't have nuts though. In the boob, I feel like getting punched in the boob is also painful. So the Astros have punched me in my non-existent boobs. That's why I'm drinking this watermelon punch. Tom, what are you drinking? Are you also drinking?
The last week has been a very spicy week to be an Astros fan. It's been very frustrating. It's been very painful, head scratching, just all bad. So I have a jalapeno pineapple tres generales like margarita thing with a shot of Terramana tequila because I just feel like Dwayne the Rock Johnson just hit me in the face with a walk-off 2-run homer.
I hate baseball. I hate the Astros. I really hate the Rangers though, but I hate this Astros offense. And we are just now engaging in our most favorite pastime ever. And it was oh so evident in this game, in this Rangers game. We're going to talk about the Rays series too. I know we've been slacking. If you weren't on the live, the 2.5 hour live where the whole gang, Tom, myself, Kelsey, we talked about the trade deadline. We broke it down. If you were not on that live, go on the YouTubes and check out the live. It was a good time. It was long. It was long, but it was a good time. I haven't decided if I'm going to put that on the audio side yet. So if you listen to this podcast via audio only, let me know if that's something that you want to hear. If not, you should just go and check out the YouTube live and check out all of my faces and all of the expressions that were made during those segments. It was a good time. But we've not recorded our normal breaking down a series afterwards, prepping you for new series. I apologize about that. I'm very sorry. But sometimes this team makes me want to drink. And so then I just end up drinking instead of talking to you guys. So that's what happened. But regardless, I'm here now. Tom's here now. And that's what we're going to do. We are going to chat about this god awful Astros team. That's what we're going to do. Ay, ay, ay. Game 1 of a 3-game series versus the Southern Oklahoma Rangers. The 2023 World Series champions, Texas Rangers. Or we could be like the Texas Rangers broadcast and totally forget who he's broadcasting for and just call him the Astros because that's always fun. Side note, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Corey Seager hit a home run 2 nights ago, I think, against the Red Sox. And the home broadcast, mind you, the Rangers broadcast, as Corey Seager is rounding third, heading to home, he says, and Corey Seager hits a home run and brings the Astros on top. I'm sorry, the who now? I wasn't aware that Corey Seager signed with the Astros. That's cool. That's cool. I love that because we live rent free, apparently, in everybody's head. But they walked it off tonight in a maddening, infuriating, frustrating, putrid fashion. Because for all intents and purposes, we just gave them the game. The Astros said, we don't want to win. Can you guys just take it? Can you just do anything? Can you take it? We loaded the bases three times. Tom, if I were to tell you, hey, the Astros loaded the bases 3 times, how many runs do you think we would have gotten from that?
So I am a well-traveled Astros fan. So I would have said at least 3. That's what I would have said from said venture. I would have loved for you to say, no, they scored late because they batted around and clutch hitting, timely hitting happened. And
Right.
it's ironic because the joke around Major League Baseball, for people that don't follow other teams, was that the Yankees only had two hitters. And a Mets club went in there, beat him up. And Luis Severino, former Yankee pitcher, said, they got two hitters. You work around Judge and Soto, and they got nobody. And us, and I say us as me and Suzy and everyone else, laughed at that because that's like a sad realization. It's really not good. And now you look at these Astros, and they really only have two hitters right now.
Really
Yiner,
only 2 though?
you've got Yiner, and I want to say Jordan, but they just walk him now. So it's like Yiner and Breggy ish, and that's it. Tuve's in an ugly funk. Jordan, he's still not Jordan, but like the respect is still there. And once you get past Yiner,
It's trash. It is. It's garbage. It's hot garbage, and not the hot kind that you wanna take home and throw in bed. It's the hot kind that you wanna throw in a fucking dumpster, okay? It's that kind of garbage. It's that kind of hot, putrid, stinky, sewer-filled garbage is what this fucking offense is. Jordan was intentionally walked twice to get to Yainer Diaz, and the funny thing is Yainer is a better hitter as of right now, RBI leader for the Astros, but after Yainer, you have Jeremy Peña that yet last night's game, yesterday's game, he struck out 3 times, and only 1 pitch was actually a motherfucking strike. What what are you doing, Jeremy Peña? What's happening over here? I just wanna talk. I just wanna talk.
he's clearly reverted back to a guy that seems like he's guessing at the plate. And the MO for Jeremy Pena for the last year and a half is like a slider low and away. He cannot recognize it and he cannot lay off it. And he is going to try to put a swing on it for about a month and a
Every
half
time.
this season. For about a month and a half this season, spitting on all of them and showing great plate discipline. Now, I'll give him some credit. There have been some calls on the edges that have not been good. And for some of these at bats, it's totally changed the at bat. You're now finding yourself trying to cover that outside corner that's really not there because the pitch is an inch to 2 inches off the plate. But when you see him just wildly flailing at all of them, I need you to take one or two of those before you commit to swinging out there on the third one. Honestly, for me, if I'm Jeremy, and it's easy for me to say that sitting in this chair, it's an entirely different animal in the box. But if I'm him, there has to be a point where I go, there's nothing I can do with anything away from me. Like I need the ball in on my hands. And until he gets back to that point where he is willing to live with whatever they decide on the outside corner. Because even if he makes contact, he's rolling that over weekly. He's not really a slap hitter the other way. He's more of a pull hitter. So everything is a grounder and it's never good. And when he's not hitting, it's just K's and they look really ugly.
It's the entire thing is ugly. Mauricio Dubon, who we have known as not a strikeout guy, putting the ball in play, that's not him. He's lost his identity. Stop using Jordan's bat. Don't do that.
It's
Jordan, in no world are you going to be your I need you to put the ball in fucking play, Mauricio Dubon, and I need you to stop striking out. For the longest time, we as the Astros, because yes, I'm including myself as part of the Astros. They're gonna cause me this much mental anguish. I'm part of the Astros. The Astros were known for not striking out or striking out the least. That's what we were known for. No longer. That's not our mantle any longer. There are 2 teams now, and I don't think this includes tonight's game. I believe on Baseball Reference, these stats are from, like, last night and beyond. So, there are 2 teams that now have less strikeouts than the Houston Astros, and that would be the San Diego Padres and the Kansas City Royals with 758, both of them tied at 758 strikeouts. The Astros have 790. The next one up from that is the Cleveland Guardians at 805. Now, that is a far cry from the team that strikes out the most, still the Seattle Mariners with 1,151. I get it. I understand. But for a team that has prided themselves on putting the ball in play and not striking out, it's a lot of Ks. It is a lot of Ks, and it is a lot of Ks from the bottom of our lineup. Jeremy Peña, Chas McCormick, Jake Myers, Mauricio Dubon. I'm gonna strap all of you to a goddamn rocket and send you to the moon. No spacesuits, just let you burn up in the atmosphere. That was mean. I didn't actually mean that. I'm just very frustrated, as we all are. We all are, because that was actually putrid. We loaded the
The
bases 43 times. Not 43, literally 3 times.
the interesting thing is that Dana Brown, going into the trade deadline, was really adamant about adding a bat. And a lot of Astros fans are, yeah, it'd be nice. You don't really need one. So I would like to say that Dana saw this coming. You got a lot of guys with holes in their swings. Trey Cabbage, holes with his swing. John Singleton, left-handed pitching. I think his WRC plus is like 43. It's really bad. And those guys they're not improving. They're regressing even further. Chas McCormick, they're leaning on him because Kyle Tucker is in this constant state of limbo, and the Astros can't get him back fast enough. So I think within the next week or two, I believe you're going to see him be ramped up. I honestly believe that the Astros are like going to wait and see thing with his leg and drive it out as far as they could to give him all the time that they could while still being in the race. But this series right here could totally change that. And I think it was evident that today you saw that he was doing more than he's been doing. And I think they're really trying to ramp him up because his offense desperately needs an added bat.
I hate everyone. I hate everything. I hate baseball. I don't know why I even watch this god awful sport. It was This game today was just a continuation of the Rays series where we couldn't score runs. We couldn't get on base. And when we did get on base, the whole like passing of the baton wasn't happening. And I think now the guys feel even more added pressure because they realize that the bottom of the lineup is struggling. So now the top of the lineup, now I have to hit fucking dingers. Now I have to go and try and hit a 5-run home run. And it's just so maddening when all of our flabbers are gasted by this team. You know that something's gone wrong. You know that the curse is back. I had high hopes for this Ranger series. I'm like, you know what? It is. It's in the Rangers Stadium. We play well there. Jordan plays better on the road. And I was hoping that it was going to get the boys back in rhythm.
And it
You
still
know,
may. It still may. It was one game. I know you're in your cup. I know you're in your drink, in your feels. Everything, the sky is falling. They win tomorrow. They win the next day. They win the series. Sweeps your heart. So
I didn't expect him to sweep. I did not. I didn't. I would have loved it, but I didn't expect it. But the fact that
Texas didn't do anything offensively either. This was not a
th-
blowout. This
I
was not.
I literally said earlier that we handed them the game. We literally said, "Please take this. We don't want this win."
They tried to do that too. So while you're upset, and you should be, Texas did not take this game. It was literally the last at bat. And Kirby Yates tried really hard to give the Astros the game. They just wouldn't take it. So I am not, while I have a drink, I'm frustrated. I will sip my drink and then I will say my curses. And then tomorrow I need Fromber. Fromber, right? I need Fromber to shove.
Is it Fromber? All I know is that it is Tyler Malley's season debut, coming off of Tommy John. It is. It's Fromber versus Tyler Malley.
I need Fromber to shove.
I need Fromber to shove. And don't get it twisted, people.
Good.
Brown shoved today. You want to talk about how our starting pitching was putrid at the beginning of the season? Our starting pitching has been awesome these last few games that we have lost. Hunter Brown shoved. You want to talk about shoving? Spencer fucking Arrighetti. At the beginning of the season, Tom, if I was going to tell you, "Hey Tom, out of all of our starting pitching, who would be the first starting pitcher to have 12 Ks in a game?"
I would not have said
Would
Spencer.
would Spencer Arrighetti even be in your top 4 guesses?
Oh yeah. I
He'd
don't.
been
Hold on. Let's be clear. 4, it means that he could have been the fourth guy. And for me, he was a monster K dude in the minors. He led all of the Astros minor league organizations in Ks last season or the season before that. So I was incredibly high on Spencer. If you recall, we had this whole discussion many moons ago, many drinks, curse words, the whole nine ago about Spencer versus Hunter. And I was like, I felt like Spencer could be better than Hunter. And you were, whoa, pump your brakes, kid. And I was like, all right, we'll see. And now I think this is a great problem to have with both of those two young studs peaking together at the same time. I think it's awesome for the Astros going forward. Does that help us right now? A little bit. The last 2 games have been phenomenal. Just can't hit for him. Poor Spencer has had 5 games in a row where he's gotten like the lowest run support in all of baseball. Like they just literally are giving him the Justin Verlander treatment. And that's either going to make diamonds or burst pipes. I don't know.
Yeah, so for those that don't watch minor league, don't know any of the minor leagues, most people, you would not think Spencer Arrighetti would be the name that would be the starting pitcher to be first in the staff, to strike out 12 after literally 2 games after. You 2 games? 1 game.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we're no win in
2
between.
games. Okay. 2 games. After Yusei Kikuchi, recent trade acquisition, struck out 11. Spencer said, "Don't hey guys, I know you guys got a new guy, but don't forget about me. I'm here too. I can do it too. I can do it. I can do it too." And admittedly, the first time he struck out 10, his season high, was against the White Sox. Okay, it's the White Sox, right? Everyone's gonna give him his flowers, but with the caveat of, it's the White Sox. He did it against the Rays. Admittedly, it is a weaker Rays lineup than normal, but there was still some very good hitters in there. If I recall, Josh Lowe, he had a couple home runs off us. There's still some some adequate baseball players on the team for the Rays. So the fact that Spencer Arrighetti struck out 12 of these motherfuckers and we couldn't score any runs, literally no runs, you strike out 12 and you get the loss. It's comical at this point because it's just so aggravating. So aggravating. 1-0. 1-0 was that game yesterday. And then today with a walk-off of Caleb Ferguson. Now, Josh Hader came in and threw 25 pitches. So he's going to be down for tomorrow. Ryan Presley came in and threw 10. So he may be available tomorrow.
Presley threw 13. Brady
13.
threw
Okay.
17. Hader threw 26.
Okay. So Hader will probably be out tomorrow.
Or Brady
Unless
might
something,
close. Or
yeah.
Presley might close. One of those guys
Or,
might close.
yeah.
And I do
So,
believe that's why we got Caleb Ferguson, because Joe was trying to manage 2 games out in front instead of just trying to win the one ball game.
poor Caleb Ferguson. You were almost there. You were almost there. Almost out of trouble. And I know all of my Yankee fan friends are laughing. Just laughing it up. But it's okay, right? It's okay. The season's long. It's not really that much longer, FYI. I'm trying to, as I'm saying these words, I'm trying to convince myself while I'm trying to convince you people out there. There's that. Tom is better at that, though. Tom, you convince the people that it's okay.
There is 50 games left in this season. And while the schedule is not great, it's not terrible. They do have some very good-ish teams that they play. They do have some very bad-ish teams. We get the White Sox again. So while the sky is falling tonight, you win the Rangers series, you go play Boston in Boston. For whatever reason, this team just loves to play on the road. They love to go into hostile territory. They'll get booed like nobody's business in Boston. It might be exactly what they need. And then go to Tampa Bay and hopefully get a little revenge there. I don't sweat what's going on at the moment, being only a game and a half out. Now, Kyle Tucker, if he shows up to Fenway with his bat, no batting gloves, and goes to work, then you're back in business.
There's no way that Kyle Tucker can come back without a rehab start, without some rehab games.
I've seen it.
You honestly think that they'll bring him back without any rehab games?
I don't know. What are you really concerned about? Like his timing, maybe at the plate, but not his defense.
Do you
Right
you
now,
put him out?
right now, he absolutely cannot be worse than anyone that they're trotting out there. So if you want to send him to Sugarland to face horrible pitching or plug him into the lineup, what would you rather have? Would you rather have Dubon playing right field or Chaz or Kyle Tucker with no rehab?
I want Mauricio Dubon sent to the moon. So don't ask me what I want about Mauricio
Like
Dubon. I
like
want Mauricio Dubon sent to the moon.
if you told me they activated him tomorrow, put him right field. I'll be all right with it. Put him right field. Batting behind Yiner. Yiner will probably get better pitches because they're pitching around Yiner a little bit. They're not grooving him fastballs anymore. He got a lot of pitches in on his hands, and it was like making him. That's why he walked twice, because he was patient, and he was like, look, if you're not going to give me something to hit, then I'll walk. Unfortunately, once you get him on base, there's no one to do anything with him. He's just fucking stranded. Side note,
This team is so maddening.
the Astros will potentially face James Paxton. And did you see what James Paxton did today? He beat
No.
Kansas City today, which is a really good team. Bobby Witt Jr., maybe you've heard of him. 6 innings, 2 runs, 4 Ks. That could have been had for free. Just want to point that out.
Hi. Okay.
That makes me drink.
The entire deadline makes me drink. Okay. We went over Spencerarrighetti. We went over today's game. We lost the Rays series, FYI. In case you guys weren't aware, we did. We lost the Rays series. Yusei Kikuchi went 5 2/3 innings and struck out 11 and was magnificent. And I don't understand the Blue Jays pitching whoever. I don't understand it. When normal people that can read a heat map and can look at just the outward facing stats that everybody has and can look at pitch usage and say, guess what? Yusei Kikuchi's changeup is really good, but he only throws it 10% of the time. His fastball, while velo is up on that, is getting blasted. Maybe, just maybe, we don't throw the fastball, and maybe we up the changeup usage. I don't understand why the Blue Jays didn't do it, or if they
I'll
did
explain it.
tell him and Yusei was like, no, I don't want to do that.
I thought about that after you said that on the trade deadline show. I thought about that. And I know exactly why he looks so good. Because you're right. They did change his pitch mix. And for a team that has a scouting report on Yusei Kikuchi that says he throws, because everything you just said, the other teams know. This is what he likes to throw. This is how much he throws it. All of that information is out there for anyone to have. So if you're expecting to see his fastball and you get changeup, you're going to look really foolish. So credit to the Astros for making an adjustment and saying, hey, we know they see this. Now we're going to give them changeup, which out of the hand looks like a fastball, and it's just 10 miles an hour slower. So I think teams are going to adjust to that, and it's going to be up to you, say, to mix and match so that it's like, oh, nope. Because he can't go with that same game plan that he had against Tampa, against whoever he pitches against next, because they're going to say he threw his changeup 37% of the time, and they're probably going to be looking for it.
And again, on the trade deadline show, I said this. I wonder if it is more of if he was calling his own pitches and having to do that game plan as opposed to letting the catchers make the game plan and him just being like, you know what, I'm going to be dumb. I'm going to just throw the ball. I'm going to just throw the ball and just make my pitches and just deal with that. And so I wonder if that was part of the issue as well. Side note, Blake Snell calls his own pitches. And it's like him and Patrick Bailey go over the scouting report, but in the no-hitter that Blake Snell threw, he's over there calling his own pitches.
I think Chris Bassett calls his own pitches as well. Like he's got the buttons on his,
Right.
and he calls it. But that just proves that you can call them, they can call them. It's all about executing whatever that game plan is versus these guys and being able to stay ahead with the scouting report. You look at a guy like JV earlier in the season, I think he got tattooed for 7 runs, most ever in a start or something like that. And it wasn't that his velocity was down or anything like that. I think there was just a scouting report out on him that said this is what he likes to do, and they were just on every pitch. I believe that with the Astros changing what you say did and go, okay, we're gonna flip it. We're gonna throw the changeup 40% of the time. We're gonna throw the fastball 15% of the time. Made him really good. I also think that while you said Tampa's got a couple hitters, I think that's all they have is 2 hitters. And I think the rest of them are absolutely traffic cones and they're just there to get struck out. Because I don't remember what Ronel Blanco did, but if you do the math, just the 2 guys, and it's not a math pod, we've said this many times, but 11 and 12, that's 23 strikeouts in 2 games. That's all the same team. So they can't be that good.
I don't know. All I remember from Yusei Kikuchi's game was the fact that Yandy Diaz hit a double, and then who hit the home run? Was it Josh Lowe or Brandon Lau? It
I
was
think it
one of
was
the Lowe
Lau.
boys.
It was Lau.
Lau, okay. Hit a 2-run home run on all fastballs. And then after that, I feel like Yusei was like, "Oh, maybe they're right. Maybe I shouldn't be throwing this fastball." I think the first 6 pitches of that game were all fastballs, and they were all getting hit so fucking hard. And I think after that, maybe it got knocked into him like, "Okay, let's listen to the computer nerds for just a hot second and see if we can't change it up." That's just how I feel that went down. I don't actually know, but that's the feeling that I got.
Ronell had 7 Ks
Um,
also. So there was a lot of fucking strikeouts in that series. It was just swing and miss. Everybody.
I say that, but where is Tampa in the strikeouts? Tampa Bay is in the higher ranks of the strikeouts. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sixth in strikeouts with 1,013. Do you know who the 7th team is?
No,
The Atlanta Braves.
I could see that. They're all dinged up. So no, and even if they were healthy, I think they were a high K rate. Obviously, you were very upset with Matty Olson early in the season. Acuna going
I'm
down
still
probably
upset
hurt
with
them.
Matty Olson. Are you kidding me?
Albies going down probably hurt them. Riley, I believe, is a high strikeout guy. So same thing with what's their center fielder's name?
Jared
Michael.
Kelnick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who's the? It's not him then.
Michael Harris is hurt.
Yes,
He's
but he would have been the center fielder. I think he's a high strikeout guy too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who their center like, Jared Kelnick is another center fielder
I think you're
because
right.
they
I think you're
re-signed
right.
Eddie Rosario.
I was thinking of Harris though.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, he's been hurt. Yeah, so regardless, this offense is putrid. Their bats have gone cold, and you wanna know how to not win games? Just
Don't score
have a
runs.
top-heavy lineup and have the bottom of your lineup go, like, 1 for 31. That's not an actual stat, but it sounds good. It sounds about right. Let me actually look that up.
I tweeted it out after the game. Anybody, the Sugarland Space Cowboys are obliterating all of AAA baseball right now. They're like 40 games over 500. They've already clinched the division and they're going to the playoffs. They have some really good bats there. And any of those guys that are white hot, Shea Wickham, DeCenzo, you name it. Anybody there who's hot needs to have a cup of coffee with the Astros because they can't be worse than Trey Cabbage. They can't be worse than Aled Diaz. They can't be worse than Pedro Leon is right now, which granted, he was hot when he came up, didn't translate. It happens. Maybe he needs to go back down, refine some things, come back up. I think they absolutely just need to throw stuff up against the wall and see what sticks because you can't just continue to send Jake Myers, Chaz McCormick, and Mauricio Dubon out there if you want to go somewhere. Like those guys, their batting averages are getting ugly. I did not know how bad it was for Myers, who was Mr. June, had this unbelievable June.
May.
Oh, I'm sorry, May. It was May. Unbelievable May. He was batting like 280 something. Jake Myers is batting 232. And your boy Chaz is like 209. And like that's
It's gross. It's gross.
John
It's
Singleton, 234. Those are not an OPS under 700 is not winning baseball.
The bottom 4 hitters in the Astros order are 0 for 13 with 9 strikeouts. It's not a winning club, guys. You can't win many baseball games when the bottom of your order is doing fucking bullshit like that. It's not a good look. So we are now a game and a half back of the Mariners. The Mariners they have an off day today. They go and play Detroit. I'm not expecting big things out of this. The Phillies couldn't do their fucking jobs and win any games. Zach Wheeler was the stopper for them, and apparently Bryce Harper changed into high socks and magically went 3 for 4 after he broke off out of his 0 for 34 slump or something ridiculous like that, and avoided the sweep. Let's just say that they avoided the sweep. I I don't know what can change about the lineup besides our guys starting to hit, and there's no magic button that we can press. There's no spell, flick of the wrist wand thing that we can do to magically make the guys play better. The fact that Jordan is intentionally walked, Yiner gets on base via walk, and then Jeremy Peña finally comes through with a base hit with a single. I think there's 2 teams now in the league that haven't had a grand slam, and we are one.
Yeah, but that doesn't
And
matter though. That doesn't matter. It'd
it
be
would
nice.
what's the other team? I can't remember who the other team is.
Like, how many teams have guys that have hit for the cycle? Like, but we've had a guy hit for the cycle in each of the last 2 years. Now, do you need that to win? No.
And we lost that game that Jordan hit for the
Exactly.
cycle.
So, would I like to see a grand slam? Absolutely. They are due. They are due for some release that will exercise so many demons. If Bregman gets a hold of one, or Peña gets a hold of one and
Oh,
clears,
well,
clear.
Bregman got a hold of one today. He was the first run,
Yeah,
the only run in the game today for a long time. I feel like the Astros leave a shit ton of men on base all day, every day for an
yeah, but
inordinate amount of times for the league, but comparatively, it's not that many.
no, because you're hyper focused on that. You believe that every person on base should be scored every time, and that is not your
When there
Tiger
are people
Mom,
on third
whatever bullshit. It's not real. Like, it's
When
just
there
not
are
real.
people on third, I say people, like, there's multiple people on third all of the time. When there's a runner on third with less than 1 out, you're goddamn correct, Tom. I do expect that run to come fucking home.
I do too. I do too. I do too. I don't know
So
what the
the
stats is on that
I
as to how many of those don't.
I'm gonna tell you right now that the league average is 744 left on base. That's the league average. We are right below that at 742.
It's not good. You want to lead the league in that, but when you
You
have
wanna
the
be at the
bottom,
bottom of that list.
lead the league in driving them in or be at the bottom of left on. You're right. You're right.
819, that's the number of people the Dodgers have left on base.
Wow. Could you imagine? You would lose your fucking mind.
You know what? I do lose my fucking mind because I watch Shohei on a nightly.
I'm like, could you imagine adding, what is that, 60 more people left on base for Suzy? No way. No
Eh,
way.
I do, because I have Shohei Ohtani on my fantasy team, and I watch him lead the people's on. It's so good, I love it. So good. So, let's talk about Caleb Ferguson. Let's talk about Caleb Ferguson. For those that don't know where Caleb Ferguson came from, we acquired him from the New York Yankees via trade deadline. New York Yankee fans were ecstatic to see this guy leave. So that does not fill me with great hope for Caleb Ferguson. I'm hoping that the pitching lab, whatever, will tweak things and do the things and wave the magic wand and fix him.
I don't think
Maybe.
it's a fixed thing. Caleb
Maybe.
Ferguson is, for me, Ryan Stanek 2.0. Low leverage, bottom of the lineup. He will go get you outs. Top of the order, middle of the order, high leverage, you will get screwed. He was good with 8-9. As soon as he got to 1, that's when he got pummeled. I believe his stuff can play to lesser hitters. I believe real deal big league hitters we'll take him yard. And that's exactly what happened. And I believe that's why the Yankees fans were so happy to see him go, is because I don't think in New York they have a, this is when we use you. They're all interchangeable. It's New York. You're supposed to be the best. And I'm supposed to be able to use you whenever the fuck I want to. And in Houston, we've had guys. We've had Rafael Montero. We've had Ryan Stanek. We've had, I'm trying
Phil
to think,
Maton,
Phil Maton. I'm trying to think, Ken
Hector
Giles.
Neris.
Hector
Ooh,
Neris was
Ken
not,
Giles. That's
yeah,
a way back.
yeah. But these were
That's a
all,
before baseball Suzy.
but these are guys that you knew, head cases, didn't always play. You had to use them sparingly. You had to pick your spots. And if you picked your spots, you got production. If you just threw them out there in the middle of a shitstorm, they got destroyed.
I didn't know where you were going with that. That's I see now. I see now why you added Ken Giles to that list. Okay.
He was
Fair.
no different. So bad, he punched himself in the face.
That is
Before baseball,
that
Suzy.
is
Go look it up.
definitely a before baseball Suzy
Go look it up.
reference.
Ken Giles punches himself in the face. He walks off the mound, right there for everybody to see. And it was like, that's when you knew dude was not good here. And it was like,
Wow, that is
yeah,
okay.
he had straight gas. It was like, what was it? 1,000 miles, Ken Giles. Hit a hundo. Didn't know where he was going. He could throw it though.
Okay. Fun. Our buddy Keith over at the Shane Sons podcast, the Mets podcast. I was on their live today and apparently he hates the Cardinals. And I was like, why do you hate the Cardinals? I was confused. And everyone was all 2006, duh. And I'm all, so sorry. That's before baseball, Suzy. I need you to explain. And thankfully, a lot of the guys over there know me and, you know, humored me. But there was one motherfucker that was like, "What? Who the fuck are you? How do you not know what the fuck?" And I'm all, "Talk to me after 2018. Like that's I can't." And one of the guys that's in my fantasy league sent me videos, and they were like, "Watch this." And it was the Carlos Beltran at bat with Adam Wainwright, and I was all, "Oh my god, that is horrific." And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "I cried. I cried.
The
Literal,
Cardinals,
actual tears."
the Cardinals, like before baseball, Suzy, were a whole ass problem. You missed prime friggin' like you couldn't have been an Astros fan then. You were not built for that.
No,
You were not built for that. When Fat Albert ended our hopes and dreams back when he was the machine on ESPN commercials everywhere, hit all the homers, was Mr. Everything for the Cardinals. Yeah. That like you died a little bit.
Did did you just call him Fat Albert?
Yeah. He was like huge. He was like Fat Albert. He was like overweight, but he crushed baseballs.
I cannot. Oh my god. Wow, okay. Alright. That's great. I learned something new every day. I learned something new. But yeah, I was not built for bad baseball. I wasn't. I am going to cut my teeth on it. Definitely gonna cut my teeth on it this season. The seasons where we had the coasters that said the bullpen makes me drink, that I did a little bit back then too, but I wasn't aware of how good we were actually. There was no bar set for me, but now I know too much. Now I know too much. It's one of those things where I'm like, "Can I go back in time? Can I go back in time and just be dumb and just enjoy baseball and not be so deep in it?" My niece's boyfriend told me the other day, he's like, "Hey, I listened to the podcast the other day." And I go, "I'm sorry." I'm always awkward when people are like, "Oh, I listened to the podcast." I don't know how to follow that up, but so I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "What do you think?" He goes, "I really only follow baseball during the playoffs." And I don't understand how people do that.
You judged her so hard.
I was like, how do you do that?" And he goes, "What do you mean? How do I do that?" I go, "I don't understand. How do you only follow something in the playoffs? How do you know who's good and who's not good and who should be winning and who's not winning?" And now he goes, "That's what I have the podcast for." I'm all, "Fair. That's fair. Okay." But no, I wish for a simpler time for myself where I wasn't fucking obsessed with stats and knowing what the guys are capable of, and I know that they're not living up to the potential. See, this is where the tiger mom comes out. This is where the Asian tiger mom comes out, where I wish I could go back to the white side. I say the white side like I have a white side. I don't have a white side. I'm all Korean. All of the Korean here, all right? But I wish I could go back and be like, "It's okay, guys. You tried your best. Fuck you. Your best is not good enough. Do better." That's That's why no one can hurt my feelings because I was raised with a Korean mom. Maybe the guys need a Korean mom. I'm just saying. That's tough love can work sometimes, maybe, and cause irreparable mental illness. But
Years of therapy.
yeah, besides that, it's fine. I'm fine. Whatever. So we get 2 more games with the Rangers. So it's Fromber versus Tyler Mahle. And then is it Kikuchi on Wednesday? It is Kikuchi versus TBD for the Rangers. Max Scherzer went back on the shelf. Rangers fans, honestly, did you guys honestly think that Max Scherzer was going to pitch meaningful games for you this season? I need to know if you actually thought this. Jacob deGrom apparently is going on rehab assignments. I don't know. Alex Cora is a devious son of a bitch who apparently likes to play mind games and is playing 4D chess because Alex Cora, the manager of the Red Sox, just totally fucked with Nate Eovaldi's head and text Nathan Eovaldi the starting lineup the day that he's supposed to pitch, knowing that Eovaldi is going to stay up and research and do and study. I was like, wow, that is diabolical, sir. Okay. So it's not going to be Nate Eovaldi. I don't know who it's going to be. I wonder if it's going to be a bullpen game. It's not going to be Michael Lorenzen. We know that much. He got traded away.
So I just happened to cross by something that I did not catch in the game earlier. We constantly talk about the maturation of Yainer Diaz as the catcher. Obviously, the hitter's fantastic. He's probably one of the best top 3 hitters on the team right now. And the catching part is clearly behind the hitting part. In a game where runs were at a premium, Ryan Presley comes into the game and does really good, gets to Corey Seager, decides to pitch to him, which to this moment, I still don't understand the logic. Pitching to Corey Seager, there's just no reason to do it. Like, he's really good. He's been really good. Like, probably don't pitch to him the same way that the Rangers have said, we don't care what Yordan Alvarez is doing. We're not going to pitch to him. We're just going to respect that he's a monster, and we'll live to fight another day. Presley gets to a 2-strike count with Corey Seager. And another Corey, friend of the show, posted a video where Presley shakes Yainer off twice before he throws the fateful fastball to Corey Seager that ties the game and eventually would send it into overtime or into extras, and they would lose. And maybe, just maybe, we trust the motherfucking catcher and just throw the pitch. Maybe. Ryan Presley? Maybe. Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like he missed his spot because legitimately right before that, Yainer pound his glove into the ground, down and in. Like, that's where he wanted the fucking ball. Down and in.
Yeah, but if he wants the ball down and in, guess what he's throwing? Probably slider. Probably that curve. Definitely not the heater that he threw, which was up and away, that Corey Seager turned on and put in the bleachers.
I was so mad. I was like, everything was down. Everything was down and away. Why the fuck are we changing eye levels?
And the thing of it is, for me, it makes sense what you're saying. It makes sense for Yainer to ask for it because the worst Corey Seager could do with that is beat it into the ground and maybe go past the first baseman, beat it into the ground. Maybe he rolls over it. It's an easy out to first. The fact that he threw him anything that he could elevate gave him an opportunity to hit a home run. Trust Yainer Diaz. The kid's good.
I don't know. I had said when that whole thing happened, that whole thing transpired, I legit word for word said that out loud. And my husband looked at me and he goes, "Who in the fuck are you?" And I go, "What?" And I was already annoyed, right? Because of the home run that the fucking tied it. And he goes, "I need you to think back. We've been married, I'm married in 2011. This is not a math pod. We've been married a long ass time. We've been together even longer." And he goes, "Did you ever in a million years think that A, you'd have twins, and B, that you'd be living in Texas obsessed with baseball with these twins?" And I said, "Absolutely not. In no world. If you told 14-year-old Suzy that this is what, how old am I? 41? 41-year-old Suzy would be doing right now, she would call you a bold-faced liar." Bald-faced? I don't know the saying. One of those. Regardless, I wouldn't believe you. Would not fucking believe you if future Suzy went back in time and was like, "Hey, 14-year-old Suzy, guess what we're going to be doing?" Absolutely not. But the fact that even I as a, like, baby baseball knower, looking at all of these pitches, down, down and away, down and away, down why? Why are we changing eye levels and throwing him something up? That is the dumbest thing ever. Even
Doing
I
him a
know that.
favor. Doing him a favor.
We have an off day Thursday, and then Friday we head to Boston. Fingers crossed we can take the series, the Silver Boot series, which is important. We have retained the Silver Boot for the last, what, 7 years, 6 years?
All of baseball, Susie.
All of baseball, Suzy. That's true, that's true. But there was is that how we won, though? Was it, like, the differential? Am I on crack? That's fair if I am, 'cause
Susie, I've drank a lot since whenever you're talking about. There's no way I'm gonna go, oh yeah, I remember very clearly in 2018, this was the scenario.
No.
Mm,
No, I'm sorry. Last season, there was something with, like, the record was tied or something, and we won by, like, point differential or percentage points or something. It wasn't like we didn't win outright, I
I
think.
thought they got the division that way. I didn't think they won the silver boot that way. I thought they had the head-to-head season series. I thought that was part of the tiebreaker.
I have no idea, but that's hysterical that you're like, there is too much alcohol in my system to.
Right? We're talking about almost a year ago. Get out of
Fair.
here.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. So, final thoughts, Tom. Final thoughts about anything that we didn't discuss.
Light candles for the leg of Kyle Tucker, if you can. Say whatever Hail Marys, whatever deity you believe in, pray for the health of Kyle Tucker because only he can save us as far as like a bat that we don't have, other than guys going, hey, maybe I'm not going to be dumb and do this dumb stuff. Because sum up the last two series, pitching's been fantastic. There's been a couple blips here and there, but for the most part, pitching's been really good. And the offense has just said, good luck.
Yep.
We got somewhere to be. We got a tea time or something. And until the offense starts to play equal to or greater than what the pitching is, it's really just not going to matter because you can only pitch so well. The shutouts are few and far between. While these guys have been very good, they're still going to get nicked up a little bit here, there, whether it's the occasional homer that Spencer's going to give up a la Justin Verlander or the occasional run that Framber's going to give up just because a strike wasn't called or whatever. Those are just going to happen. And the Astros have to be able to overcome that because their bullpen's been really good too.
Yeah. Yeah. I know someone is going to say, oh, Tyler Scott gave up 2 home runs. And that bumped his ERA up to what, like 1.5, 1.7? Stop it. It was a Crawford box home run and a fucking barely down the right field line. Literally only home runs in Minute Maid Park. Okay, just stop it right now. Tom, where can the peoples find you on the interwebs?
At Third Coast Tom. That is where I do the most of my shenanigans on Twitter. While it is a bit of a cesspool, it's where everybody congregates. So Twitter is where I do the most of my discussioning. That's not a word. I made it up. At TC Tom1 on Instagram. I dabble over there a little bit. I'm not an influencer or anything like that, but occasionally I post some stuff. The PSF app. If you're looking to watch a game and you're not trying to leave your house, you're not trying to put a bra on, but you want to talk to people and have a good time from the comfort of your own home, the PSF app is where you want to do it. There's chat rooms for every team. Hopefully you're in the Astros chat room with myself and Suzy because it's the best time. There are other guys that are good. They're not as good as us. I'll just say that. Suzy will probably agree with me. Maybe not. She may blame me, and that's okay. I'm good with it. I accept what I am and what I'm not. But the PSF app, it's a lot of fun. I don't know when our next game is. I'm praying it's the Kikuchi game because I don't know if Suzy will make the whole game with her sanity intact because all the jokes, all the drinks, all the jokes, all the drinking games, it will be phenomenal. Do not miss whenever that is. PSF app.
Yeah, I don't think that I can actually say his name without giggling like a 12-year-old. Like I can't. It's literally in the name, guys. It's literally in the name. I can't do it. Follow Tom on all of the socials. Follow the show on all the socials. If you have not already subscribed to the YouTube, what the fuck are we doing? Hit the big red subscribe button, please and thank you. If you listen to this via audio podcast, please give us 5 stars on the Apple, on the Spotify, ratings. Tell us all of the nice words. Do the little tippy tappy tappy things with the words that makes the sentences that gives me the good feelings. I would love that. Please and thank you. See if you can make me cry. That would be great. But like in the good way, not in the bad way. All right. But again, I was raised with an Asian mom, so really nothing can hurt me. So, with that said, again, follow the show, do the likes, do the subscriptions. I'm gonna have a bra on during the PSF app because it's not one of those shows. Y'all don't pay me enough to not wear a bra. I mean, you can't see shit anyways because I ain't got nothing, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. I'm gonna have a bra on. Tom is not gonna have a bra on. I don't know. That's maybe he will. Who knows? I don't know.
Y'all don't pay me enough
Um,
to put one on. I'll just put it that way, like that.
there you go. There you go. So throw money at Tom to put a bra on. There you go. And we will see you guys on the PSF app. I'm not quite sure when, but follow the socials. That will let you know when. And that way you can enjoy this conversation on the PSF app during a game and interact with us there. Our peoples that come into the chats, it's a good time. It's really a good time. So, with that said, we are going to close out the show and say, "Yay, baseball!"